All right, welcome to North Georgia Advocate podcast number 12. This is Monday, March 16th. I'm here with Viral. I'm Chris Dyer here with Viral. We're going to get in a quick podcast this week. We got a lot going on, and we got lawsuits going on. We got the UDC still hadn't been passed. We've got all the people qualifying for office last week or the week before, and there's just a big hubbub of activity going on, but not really much getting done around here now, Viral.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. Government's not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, I'm a firm believer that the more that they can't do anything, the more they can't screw nothing up. It wouldn't bother me if they never did anything, honestly, except for certain things. But, we've got the lawsuits tomorrow with Jodi White and Hall Informed. She got 3 lawsuits being held in courtroom 404 tomorrow at Hall County Courthouse. One against the first one's going to be, let me pull that up right quick. My brain's fried. The first one is going to be against, this starts at 10 o'clock. It's going to be against the former planning commission for their illegal meetings. That one's going to start at 10 o'clock. Then after it, you're going to have one against Hall County government itself for the illegal zoning of Winder Highway, where they had to come back in and Steve Gillum sued the county back in December.
Mm-hmm.
You remember he put it in last year and it got denied, and he took it to Superior Court and they made the county hear it again, and they got approved this time because Kathy Cooper unrecused herself. So it would go through. And they're having that one as the second here for the illegal zoning. And then the third one is against the 3 amigos, Cooper, Billy Powell, and Jeff Stowe for malfeasance, because they have not been doing their job. They basically voted every way that the illegal meetings had happened with the planning commission, and every way the planning commission wanted something to go, those 3 voted with it.
Right.
After those guys had plotted out how they were going to vote, one would recuse themselves, one would bring it up, one would vote no against it to make it look like they were actually debating it. I mean, they had a whole thing mapped out on a lot of this stuff. And the malfeasance part really comes in because if you'll remember, I don't know if you went back and watched it, but Greg Poole at the end of that meeting in December, when they removed the Stan Hunt, Frank Sosby, and Chris Braswell for the illegal meetings, he proposed that everything that was tied to those planning meetings
should be heard again, right?
Be recent, huh?
I thought it was to be reheard or something like that.
He told them they could resubmit the plans for free. No more, no money, no nothing, just so they could vote on it legally.
Yep.
To keep lawsuits from happening. During his proposal, Jeff Stowe took over what he was trying to propose and had everybody so confused that they didn't know who was nominating, who was voting, who was seconds on the votes or anything. Then they finally got it cleared up, and Kathy, Billy Powell, and Jeff Stowe voted against them resubmitting the paperwork. So that means everything that was done by the planning commission is still illegal. And they're still going ahead with the building or the grade, going ahead and starting with their building process.
Right.
And the reason Jodi's suing is because Greg Poole gave them the out to do this legally. And they refused to do the right thing.
Yeah.
They just basically told the citizens to screw off, pound sand. We do what the hell we want, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Now, Greg Poole didn't have nothing to do with this lawsuit. Jodi had told the commission before the meeting that if you don't resubmit all this stuff, I'm going to sue you. That's why Greg Poole proposed for it to be resubmitted.
Yeah. I mean, that's the right thing to do if stuff got approved illegally.
And it's basically just a technicality for the most part.
Yeah.
They're not going to go back and turn that down. And I mean, it would be highly shocking if one of the three amigos voted against something they've already passed.
Right.
Especially after Kathy Cooper unrecused herself to where she could pass the old Winder Highway thing. And the same thing happened up there at Jodi's, up there off Cagle Mill Road, where they approved that subdivision.
Right.
That was already planned out there. They had basically told Greg Poole that they'd go with his recommendation. If he didn't want it approved, they wasn't going to approve it because it wasn't their district. And then they lied and, voted it in after the illegal meetings were found out. So, but that's where we're at tomorrow. We're going to have that hearing. And this is not a hearing for the cases themselves. The three amigos and the county commission, the commissioners, the planning commissioners and stuff, they're trying to get this thrown out of court as being frivolous. And one of their conditions, listen to this garbage, they're trying to claim Jodi was not a resident of Hall County when any of this happened. She's lived here 15 years. That just shows you that they know they're dead wrong and they're throwing stuff against the wall to...
They're just trying to prolong the whole process.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what they're doing. And, Stan Hunt finally wised up and dropped out of the race because there's no way this is going to be done by the November elections.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way. And Jodi's representing herself. My group, our group, North Georgia Advocate, and we raised $5,000 for Jodi to help pay for court costs. You look at some of these court fees, it's $160 travel fee. Nobody in Hall County that did court reporting had any openings for this. Because see, when you file for suit, the courthouse will give you a list of people to do court reporting.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to get the one that can show up. The closest one was Athens.
Oh, wow.
$160 travel fee, then you're talking $300 minimum just to set foot in the courtroom. They charge you an hour right off the bat, so you're looking $460 just right off.
Right.
Each court case right off the bat. And then you've got the filing fees and you got the serve subpoenas. So you're looking at it was $1,000 for each case almost just to get into court on average. I posted it in the North Georgia Advocate group on Facebook, the detailed expenses of where the money's going. These court cases are not expensive. They make it to where it's so expensive that the regular person can't do it themselves. It's tough. But
Well,
here,
that's why the government can get away with so much endless amount of taxpayer money to
oh yeah,
defend or defend themselves versus limited resources for whoever's filing it.
yeah, for
But
most
more than
people,
likely.
I mean, it's tough, and there's no telling how much Jodi's paid out of pocket. I mean, out of her own pocket, not before she even asked for help. I mean, I've heard a few numbers bounded around, and I ain't at liberty to say it ain't my, but she's doing a lot for this county, and people need to. I'm not saying you got to respect her or what you're doing, but the people need to look, and she's not doing this just for shits and giggles. I mean, she's right on a lot of her stuff and her points, and she's doing what she thinks is right for everybody.
Right.
And just to try to end this stranglehold that several people have on. You got certain builders and certain developers, and they're doing anything they want. They bring in front of the commission or the city council. It's going to get approved no matter what. And that's got to stop. And and hopefully tomorrow they'll send this over to court and we'll have a trial on it and we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing the other side wants is a potential trial where stuff's got to come out of the closet.
Oh yeah, when they don't want discovery on much of this.
Yep.
We've had one person say, post in the group that I'm banned from now for I don't know why. He said that Stan Hunt's already, he works for the Norton agency, and he said Stan Hunt's already, made over $1 million in cabinets just for that he knows about. So where does it end? I mean, he's good at what he does, don't get me wrong, but there's those connections that, and it just that small little circle gets together and it freezes everybody else out. And then we got, let's see, those will be, you got 3 cases tomorrow. Hopefully they'll bound that over and we can get into court in the next month or two. And then coming up, Stan Hunt has still got Stan Hunt, Frank Sosby, and Braswell still got their lawsuits against the county. And I don't get why they don't drop them. I mean, they're wrong. They know they're wrong. They done been found guilty. And up until January, even the the fired planning commissioners through the end of January were still getting their paychecks. Shannon Davidson was getting paid. Andre Castleberry getting paid. You're talking, that's $15,000 minimum of taxpayer money for people to do nothing.
Yeah. It's a drop in the bucket.
How does that slip through the cracks?
Drop in the bucket for unlimited resources.
Oh, yeah. When you're looking what's Hall County's budget, I don't know what the school budget's $350 million.
Yeah.
So you figure the county budget's, I don't know it off the top of my head, but it's pretty steep.
I wouldn't be surprised at least 100 million or more.
No, it's about probably close to $1 billion. If the school budget's $350 million.
Well, the school budgets are usually bigger than the county budgets, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think the school budget, I know property taxes are 60% of the school budget. Yeah, I don't know what the county budget would be total, but that's just a lot of money. And I just don't see how Zach Probst and them didn't catch that. When you get suspended, why don't your pay just stop? It just don't make no sense. And
oh man, Oh, that's not it. Sorry.
And then we got
So total countywide operating and capital budget for fiscal year 2025 was a whopping $400 million.
okay, and that's but the school budget was only like 260 for 2025. The 2026 budget went up by like $100 million because they're doing all that other construction and rebuilding World Language Academy. I mean, they're doing a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's coming from SPLOST, but it's still in the budget. And then we got the city coming back tomorrow. I've got the documents up on it's out by Crestwind on Ivy Road. Back in 1989, they approved a 600 unit. I guess it's dual. It's going to put 600 units, 540 condos, and 60 houses on 78 acres. And 40 of those acres was going to be like green space. So you're talking that's going to be packed in on like 30 acres. And they had boat slips and all kinds of stuff out there. And never sat there and nothing ever got done with it. Then Jeff Payne come out and owns Capstone Properties. It's Philip Wilhite's son-in-law, and wants to build a resort out there. All the information's in the North Georgia Advocate group. Let me pull it up just to give you a little snapshot.
When is that hearing?
It's tomorrow night at 5:30.
That's for the PAB though, right?
Yeah, that's just for the to get it rezoned. And
well, it's not the city council meeting, it's just a planning board.
That's a city council meeting tomorrow night.
Oh, is it? Okay.
7:30. I mean, let me say.
Oh yeah, it is. March 17th. Yep, I see it.
Yeah, it's 5:30 or 6:01. I got it somewhere right here.
Yep, it's right there.
Yep, 5:30.
Capstone Property Group.
Yep, it's they're wanting to rezone it to build that resort, and on this resort, there's going to be 177 room luxury hotel, lakeside cottages, and estate homes. You're going to have 14 duplexes, 28 estate homes with boat docks that would be in the $2 million range, 7 lakeside cottages, 15,000 square feet of meeting space. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 240 maybe boat slips. And that's just out there on next to Crestwind, which you can't even turn left coming on Grounds Bridge going either way at any time of the day right now. Much less if they build this, and they're trying to claim 600 cars is going to be all that's going to be the traffic impact on this. And I find that a little hard to believe. I mean, you're out Browns Bridge a whole lot more than I am. I mean, that sounds like 600 cars just seems like a way underestimate of the traffic that's going to be there.
For that development?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if it builds out to where they're saying 12 restaurants total, that won't even 600 cars a day won't even cover the faculty that works there, the employees.
Right.
Counting the restaurants, the hotel, and then there's rumors that they're going around to where they got a deal worked out with the hospital where patients will be able to stay. I mean, patients' families will be able to stay out there. And even some patients doing some type of certain rehab, then the rooms are going to be $700 or $800 a night minimum. I mean, they're building something to compete with the Lake Lanier Islands down there. I mean, they're not building just a Hampton Inn on the lake.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah, and I'm looking at the plan. 600 is definitely a pretty big underestimate
and I
for
know
the amount of traffic and stuff. They do have a traffic study that they have in their packet. So with A&R Engineering out of Marietta. So I'm assuming this is where they got the potential amount of traffic, amount of cars going in and out of there.
yeah. And I just sent you something somebody sent me on a text just as we were started talking about this. You know, I've talked to a couple that had an independent study, a traffic study done. I'm still waiting the numbers on it. I thought I was going to have them by now. But they were talking about if that thing gets built out completely, that'd be 9,000, 9,500 cars a day.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at the trip generation portion of the traffic study, and it says 24-hour two-way traffic is expected to be about 510. I guess 510 cars based off of 205 rooms for the resort hotel, and then single-family attached housing, 28 units. They're estimating that to be about 163 two-way trips on up and down Browns Bridge. Now, I don't know how you get 510. I'm assuming they're thinking 2 guests per room or something like that, but maybe, what about staff,
Yeah.
books, all of that being considered, I think 673 is pretty small. It's a smaller number, but then again, I'm not a traffic engineer.
Right. But you'd think with a 200 room hotel, you would think that'd have to be 100 staff on call at all times.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head because you got to look at housekeeping, you got to look at the kitchen, you got to look at valets.
Yeah.
Front desk employee. There's a lot of people that work at a hotel that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going for a high end resort.
Yeah. So definitely something that needs to be looked at. But then again, it got voted by the PAB 6-1. So
Yeah,
I doubt it gets any friction going forward.
Yeah, it's going to pass. And somebody just said a thing that said the subject of stage 2 intersection. Hold on. Below should close the last sentence. The intersection of Ivy and Browns Bridge is already operating at failure in peak hours.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
They're supposed to utilize updates and include turning movements and counts, refine trip generation, and include traffic volumes generated from crest wind. And did you see in here, they are proposing that they build an entrance from crest wind into this resort.
Well, that's on Crestwind to figure that out.
It says here that on number 5 below, it looks like they want Crestwind to have access to Ivy, with the new study being the first step.
Sure. As long as the folks at Crestwind are paying for it, I don't see any issue with that.
Yeah, no, I mean,
or if Capstone's paying for it, it's no issue with that.
but I mean, I'm just saying, how does Crestwind fit into that, considering they're a 55 and over, really retirement neighborhood to a luxury resort? I
Well,
mean,
I would think some of those older folks would want to be able to easily get to the resort slash restaurants, and
without having to get on Browns Bridge, yeah, I
yeah,
get that.
yeah, that would be my understanding of it.
Right. I didn't know if they were trying to do that or tie it in, like kind of, make it a similar to what Lake Ridge, you know, I'm going crazy.
There's just a lot in this package. I'm just wondering how much time was actually spent in actually reviewing it by the city staff.
Yeah, no, it
It's
was
a it's a it's a
genuine.
it's a huge project. I mean, you got estate homes. Each lot's about an acre, a little under an acre. And then you got parking space requirements, lake cottage, lots about 20,000 square feet. So yeah, there's a lot, to really look at and get into the nitty-gritty of it. And I mean, I would hope the city staff's really looked into it and done their due diligence on it, on the concept and everything else that's involved.
Well, you'd think they would, but I mean, if any of them lived out Browns Bridge Road, they'd know this is. Now, I'm not saying there's not a place for that development somewhere, you know.
Well, I mean, so that's my issue with that. With your argument is that, and I've asked this question multiple times to people, and it's a chicken or the egg kind of scenario where you have all this traffic, but nothing's getting done about it. And what, like, how do you get the DOT to do something, or the county to do something? And it's just going to have to get to the point where the development's got to come first, and then that absolute, yes, we got to widen this road necessity comes in, and they do it. And I've talked to Forsyth County commissioners too, and it's just like, and Forsyth County officials, Hall County is the one that's kind of delaying this whole 4 lane. They don't have them funds to widen Brownsbridge Road. The DOT is ready to do it anytime. It's just the county portion of the money's not there. It's never there. It hasn't been there for the last 25, 30 years that, they've been trying to widen this. So you got Forsyth County on the other end going ahead and widening the road and at least adding a center lane for the most part. And some portions of it's got 4 lanes.
Right.
Some portions it's got a center lane only, which is still much better than
The
having
two
just
lane
two
road
lanes.
that it was.
Yeah. Brownsbridge from all the way from the Forsyth County line all the way to McEver. Well, I take that back, not all the way to McEver, because it does turn into 4 lanes at a certain point right before you get to the intersection. But you have to, I mean, I see the DOT out there doing surveys. So I'm assuming something's about to happen, whether it's a center lane or possibly just go into a full on 4 lanes. So we'll see. But you can't deny, in my opinion, a project just because of the amount of traffic it's going to create, when it's not really in their hands to really dictate when the DOT or the local county government or the local city government or whoever, the municipality, addresses the traffic issues. So similar to like the stuff that was going on 211, and I get that, and I get it, everything that Corey had said, and what a lot of the people that came up from the neighborhoods had come and commented against those warehouses and whatnot. And I agree with them, but at the same time, when you have a private property owner, you can't. What do you? I mean, you can't tell them no, you can't do this
Right.
just because of the traffic. It's not in their control. If it was in their control and if it made financial sense, I think they would widen the road. So,
And I get it because it's not a county road, it's a state road that you got to meet. Yeah, you can't just go in and just do it.
Yeah. And I mean, same thing with the port right now. I mean, we both know a 4-lane highway is not going to handle the amount of traffic that thing's going to bring in. No. There's no way. But again, they're going ahead and hatching the egg first, and then I guess the chickens come after to start paving the way for an extra lane in each direction. I don't know where they're going to widen it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But they will. I mean, they're gonna be forced to at a certain point. They're gonna be forced to do it, and that as a concern for Browns Bridge too, just because the port's up 985 doesn't mean these other lanes of shipment aren't also going to get congested. So like Browns Bridge, people got to use that to get to 400. Dawsonville Highway, get to 400.
Dawsonville Highway's already been a show for years. I mean,
exactly. So
that's still all day long nowadays. I mean,
yeah. So eventually they're going to have to allocate money to widen these things, but it's not going to happen overnight. And it's, in my opinion, I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, it is. And the thing that makes you mad is the county can claim they didn't have the money for. They've had the money, they just didn't want to allocate the money to do it. They had other pet projects too. They had other projects they wanted done that could have held off, but they didn't really, And this is the city itself, and the city wastes a lot of money too. And I'm hoping since Zach's in office as the new mayor that, he can get some control. But if you got all your other city commissioners and the mayor's only got so much control, because what if everybody on the city council wants something and if you're against it, you kind of just stuck, And I'm not saying Zach's again, I'm just making an example.
Sure.
And because the mayor is just not fix everything.
Right. I don't think he's got a vote in it either. I think he's just kind of getting swayed.
He's just a tiebreaker, and and a good mayor can have some sway over some things because he can prioritize things, and hopefully.
I mean, you got local opposition, and I see the signs when we're going by there and whatnot. I mean, you got local opposition for it, and all that. Unless Crestwind shows up by pitch and fork, and maybe it gets turned down. But other than that, I don't see this getting turned down, and I don't see a reason for it to be turned down outside of the traffic issue. But then again, like I said, it's not in their control to really do much about that. So
yeah, I mean, no doubt. And I think like I said, we need more hotels, and there's a place for those resorts, but I just don't like, and it's not really, it's just where the last couple of things that Capstone's done, it's just been in bad places.
Yeah.
He's building that 5-story hotel over here on White Sulphur. I guarantee he's got $1 million in that retaining wall because he's building that on a cliff beside a car wash and a train track.
On that entire,
it's just a goal
development out there on whatchamacallit, Publix too, and then Kroger. Those massive retaining walls.
Yeah. I mean, it's just built on a gulch, and they go on a big gulch going down. That's right there, overlooking the RYDC and the railroad. Where just 2 years ago, the Patels that built the hotels on Dawsonville Highway and Browns Bridge, they wanted to build hotels over where the Dunkin' Donuts is built, going towards Rabbit Town, and they turned them down. That's the perfect place to put that hotel. It's on flat ground. I mean, there's plenty of parking. I mean, there's no reason to pack it in right next to a car wash.
Well, he must have not have hired a good old boy to get that done for him.
Exactly. I mean, and it's just, and I understand one of the hotels was going to be an extended stay, but that's an easy fix. The city council just had to say, no, we're not giving you an extended stay. It can either be a regular hotel or you don't build it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a simple fix. It's not deny both projects. and then turn around and let Jeff Payne build something every day at 4 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, the traffic up White Sulphur is all the way past the church almost.
Yeah, I mean the traffic everywhere in Hall County now,
I
and
mean,
you
it's
know,
just
within the cities,
terrible.
it's terrible. I'm still waiting for a day when McEver finally gets widened, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen at this point with all the housing and infrastructure that's right there
Yeah,
on the
I
main
mean,
road. Like, where are you gonna widen this at this point? You know?
especially with that bottleneck at Monday Mill where they built Copper Springs right beside the highway.
Mm-hmm.
You can't widen it through there unless you take that
Yep.
shopping center on the left.
Yep.
You know where
Well,
they
you
got
got
the
you
liquor
got
store.
the whatchamacallit, the on the other side of the gas station now where they used to have a DUI school is turning into a liquor store.
Yeah, I mean that's ironic as hell, ain't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's just and
There's ways
land
to do it. It's just a matter of actually pulling the trigger to do it, and I don't see that happening anytime
and
soon.
and the thing is, the way inflation is going in property values, the more they delay, the costs are just going to keep going up.
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, where does it end? I mean, I understand we got to fight, but at the same time, if you turn something down that's in the UDC, you're going to get sued.
Yeah, I mean, and that's right. I think the county should get sued if you vote against something that literally follows every little guideline that you got possibly without if you're not asking for any variances or anything like that and you got everything to code per your UDC and you get declined for something, I would sue plus an extra couple million just for my trouble
Yeah,
and
I
the
mean,
trouble that you're causing me at this point.
and that's what a lot of people don't understand is a lot of times the council members' hands are tied.
Yeah.
And that's why a 30-year plan, those Vision 2030 or Vision 2050s, that's why they're so important.
Right. And so the UDC, from what you were just saying earlier, Hall County hasn't done anything to address the
No,
what
they've
do you call
not.
them, moratoriums?
They added another 6 months to it.
Yeah, because they didn't get done.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, they couldn't. I mean, they could have, but they had their hands tied dealing with the.
Well, that's the thing too. I don't know how much of how much of it they're gonna actually be able to get done when you got three amigos kind of pulling one way. So I don't know that's gonna happen. And then you got one up for re-election,
The Kathy Cooper's up for re-election.
right? And then you got one that's running for U.S. Senate.
Yeah, Greg Poole is running for, and we got Tyler Crawford and Steve Gailey and.
Right. I mean, well, that's beside the point with
Yeah.
who's running against them and whatnot. But you got at least two commissioners that are
Could possibly be replaced.
well. I mean, but you got their hands are tied right now. They're busy for their campaigns and whatever else. So they're busy in their own little endeavors right now to be able to focus on something like that. We just got a new director of planning in Katie, so that's a whole nother shift. That's so I don't. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they just didn't have all the pieces in place to address the UDC at this point. So extend it for another 6 months and let's try again now that we got a director in place and let her lead the way.
And I don't think nothing's ever going to get done. They need to put in something, just my personal opinion, that independent people to come in. We don't need people from Norton. We don't need people from Rochester. We don't need people from Capstone. We don't need local real estate agents. I mean, let them be on the board, like have a 12 or member board, so let them be a part of it, but don't let them write the freaking UDC.
Sure.
And that's why
I agree. I agree with that to an extent. And but at the same time, I'm gonna play devil's advocate because it looks like that's the vibe tonight for me. You gotta let people that are somewhat experts / their careers are in this, they've been doing it for years, et cetera, kind of guide your UDC because they're going to know what are the potential, ups and downs for the people that are going to be using the UDC more than not. But then again, I agree with you too that you can't have these folks having an over amount of influence. It's kind of like, I mean, I'm not, I don't know if I want to get into the federal side of this, but
Yeah.
how a certain group of people has a huge influence in DC. We don't need the same thing to happen in little old Hall County.
North Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, where you got a handful of people dictating, what should be going into the UDC, and potentially creating loopholes for themselves and for their industry peers in the future. So yeah, it's a little bit rough. And I think, again, when they did this UDC, they did it with a firm, I believe, out of Atlanta, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, over the last like couple of years and whatnot. They updated it, which was great. It was much needed. But I agree with you where we need more local folks. And if it's local folks, I think it needs to be residents of Hall County that have been here for at least 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that have kind of grown up here, kind of, want to help keep Hall County what it was and what it is still to
Yeah.
an extent,
Some semblance of what.
preserve it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree to that extent. But you can't also, I mean, because you got people here that have inherited land and acres of farmland and housing and whatever else, property, their parents or their grandparents or whatever bought that piece of land as an investment for their grandkids or for their great grandkids, and now they're trying to cash in on it because the market's great. The development and all the building and all the population growth's finally come to Hall County after shifting away from, or after fully being done in Gwinnett and Beaufort and whatnot. And that's one of the reasons they invested in it. So, in my opinion, who is the county to tell you, no, you can't sell it to XYZ construction
Yeah. No. And
and
I'm
let
not
them put
saying,
10,000 homes on it, which I get, like, you got to preserve something. So it's a very,
fine line. Yeah.
it's a very fine line where you're really screwing with somebody's investment that they've had for, and they've been paying taxes on for the last 20 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. And they're trying to cash out on it.
Well, no, and I'm not begrudging anybody that. I'm just saying that, we need to have a good mix of people, because if you go back and listen to Norton's forecast for the upcoming year, he just basically said Hall County's got plenty of land, by God, and we're going to develop every bit of it.
Yeah.
I mean, not just Hall County, all of North Georgia.
Yeah.
Because he started comparing it to New York City and Chicago and Atlanta. And
well, that's fine. They can develop it as long as the demand's there.
yeah, no,
but I think that demand's going to go away soon.
Nobody's trying to say
a lot of that.
And I couldn't imagine having 300 acres now and having to pay property taxes on that. I mean, if you had it on Brownsbridge Road or say Friendship Road, or can you imagine the taxes just on 10 or 15 acres?
Yeah. I mean, and that's it's actually cheaper than you'd think. I guess something about putting it into a conservation or something like that, where you're not going to develop it or something like that. The taxes are on land like that are a lot cheaper than one might think.
Because that's what Schofield did with all his land out there on.
Yeah, you're just not gonna. Hey, I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna sign a piece of paper that says for the next 10 years, I'm not gonna develop it. I'm not doing anything with it. So, drop my taxes by 90%.
Yeah. Because I know some people that's had land on Friendship Road and they had to sell it because the family was arguing about what to do with it and everything, and it just got so expensive they just had to start selling it off.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't want to get into, but it's
well, I mean, we're kind of in that situation right now too in Forsyth County, where we're kind of being forced to sell just because the property taxes on it have gotten so ridiculous. And this year I'm looking at options of appealing it, but our purchase price of like $300,000 just in 2022, we have a fair market value that the county appraisers gave it of like $1.6 million. I was like, in 2025, I'm like, bro, you think in 3 years this thing jumped up in value that much? I'm happy to sell it to you for half of that if y'all are ready to buy it.
Exactly.
You're not going to step up and do that though, because you know it's BS.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing about property taxes. I mean, you know, you can't punish the property owners by some arbitrary made up number.
Yeah.
That's created.
I mean, and I think it's going to end up being to the point where I'm going to lawyer up and take one for the team and sue Forsyth County or the tax assessor's office or somebody, because this is absolute bullshit.
Yeah, well, the thing is if you bought it for $300,000, that's what it's worth to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you were to develop it or take a loan out on it or something, then it becomes the new value.
Sure.
But I mean, it's like say your parents built a house for $30,000, and 30 years later they're trying to tell them it's $500,000. For them, it's still worth $30,000.
Yeah.
I mean, if they know no major improvements, they've done nothing to it, and you're trying to you'll force people out of their houses just because of something that they never had anything to do with,
Right.
And it's wrong. But, and it's going to be hard to see, because the city's going to pass this. They're going to amend the zoning or whatever it is tomorrow to do it, no matter how much people protest, unfortunately. And you can't blame them. At the same time, you can't blame, like you said, the neighbors. You can't blame them for being upset either.
Yeah.
We're just Hall County's in a flux situation now.
Well, again, I think if Cresswin shows up, because that's really who it affects more than I would say the other neighbors. I'm sure there's a couple of lake homes right down the road that aren't going to be too happy about that increase in traffic coming up and down Ivy. But I think if the folks at Cresswin were to show up tomorrow with pitches and forks, maybe it gets denied. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
And then there's another active adult community that's coming up there off of McEver, right, literally next to Cresswin. I think it's called Encore or something like that. I mean, those folks have no idea. I mean, they're going to see all of this just on the backside from the lake, across the lake or whatnot. So I don't know how they feel about a massive project like that coming in right in their backyard too.
Yeah, no, and it's we just got a little wrinkle in the Jodi case. I just got a message that a named partner entered in the law firm that's representing the people, the defendants, entered in as hold on, let me pull it up. Entered in as just had the other partner entered the other lawsuit. They didn't file the motion till 8:45 tonight for the partner to be their new attorney instead of the two associates that were assigned to the case. Now who does that? I mean, that tells you they should. I mean, they're a little bit worried, I think.
Maybe. Or they just got their mercenary.
Throw Jodi off her game. I mean, what is it?
Yeah, or they just found their mercenary to go in for the kill.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, like, good luck to Jodi. She's taking one for the team.
Oh yeah, she's nervous as a cat. I know anybody would be representing themselves, and hell, half the people of this county that support what she's doing.
Yeah.
So and what happened at the meeting on Tuesday night or Thursday night on the 12th for the Hall County Commission?
I'm not sure. I wasn't able to go.
Anything important that we needed to discuss? I know Jeff Stowe's kids, they had a property come up on Candler Highway, and he recused himself. Thank goodness. That's good. I mean, it was a good project. I mean, nothing wrong with it, And I'm hoping that in the past he may not have recused himself, but I'm hoping that this stuff's you know, it's there's not been a lot going on because they put a kibosh on all the building. The only thing I wish that the county would have done is put a moratorium on all homes or all developments, even if unless it's single family homes. It's now it's 30 units or bigger, 30 homes or bigger. I wish they'd go down to about, say, maybe 5 or 6 until they can get this UDC worked out.
Yeah. I mean, I agree to that to an extent.
It's not saying
if you have
we just got to they just got to figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a UDC in place that you rely on, what's the point? Because if you're going to change the UDC in the next few months, and then none of what you're approving today abides by that UDC, what's the point? So yeah, I agree with you, but then you're also completely slowing down possible construction and stuff moving forward, completely bringing a lot of people's potential deals to a complete halt until you resolve this. So I know a few developers that are upset about the moratoriums. I mean, not even the whatchamacallit, not even the developers, but a lot of the engineering firms, because they had to,
they spent a lot of money.
Yeah, but I mean, their work stops in a sense too. Their projects come to a complete halt because the county can't figure out what they want to do. So yeah, it's a tough situation to be in. And then, I mean, work's already kind of slowing down for a lot of these guys anyways, just because all, potential recession looming around and whatnot. So
yeah, no, and it's crazy how, South County put a year moratorium on their building at one time, didn't they? A couple years ago.
I'm not sure.
I mean, somebody around here because I read about it, couldn't nobody do nothing for a year. So, and my thing is I talked to Jodi and a couple others about this the other day. What happens do you think Katie may get caught up in the fallout if it goes into the rest of the admin when all this stuff comes out? Because not everybody in that office is going to get off scot-free. Beth's the only one that's gone, and she took herself out.
Mm-hmm.
What about the other people involved? Katie went to those meetings. I mean, even though she claimed, she did stop going for the most part. She did go to a few more, but she did take notes and she did report it to her superiors. What's going to happen with all that? I mean, how does that affect the UDC? Can they do anything until the court cases are over?
Right. Who knows? I think that's for the county to kind of deal with, but I would assume none of that stuff's going to get resolved as long as nobody's really able to work, because there's just so many unknowns at this point.
Yeah, no, and that's where we're at.
But I would think the high density housing stuff is probably on a pause for I would say indefinitely. I don't think that's coming back around anytime soon, unless they're able to work something out.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what Rochester does with that big one he's wanting on Dawson Highway.
Yeah,
because he just put that off the table. I think it's supposed to come back up in like May or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
But I don't see how they could do anything with that because that whole corridor is developed. I mean, not developed, but built.
Mm-hmm.
To see exactly, because I mean, how's it going to look when it's done? Not when it's on paper. I mean, the basics, but everything doesn't always work out the way it should. And then we got the Green Street development coming up too, just popped in my head. They got the big save signs on Save Green Street back up now because the DOT still can't make their mind up what in the world they're going to do with that roundabout and widening Green Street and everything else. I mean, it's just a mess all over this county.
Yeah. Can you widen Green Street with it being a historic
Yeah, they
street.
can go. They can take those poles, and they'd have to put all the utilities underground, I would assume, where the
Yeah.
sidewalk and the power poles are right now on each side.
Yeah.
They would. I mean, that's to be the only because you can't put the power poles in the middle of those yards in the historic district. I mean,
Right.
but I'm sure if they buried the utilities, but something's got to be done on Green Street. You got too many idiots still trying to turn left in the middle of the day and back stuff up. I mean,
where are they supposed to go? If they got to turn left, they got to turn left.
well, but if you're from around, I get it. If you're out of town, you don't know. But if you're from
Yeah.
around here, you can get anywhere off of Green Street through the back roads.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
not many places you can't do. That's like on Green Street when you're turning left, going towards 985, when you could keep going right there at the times. A lot of these people they go left and then turn right up onto the square. Go straight and take the first left, and you're on the square.
Right.
Behind the Chamber of Commerce. I mean, just don't. I mean,
yeah. If you don't know, you don't know, and you're going by GPS, which is trying to get you where
the
you got to
quickest
go.
way there.
You just gotta completely put a roadblock or something on the to stop these lefts from happening, and just close off those road entrances from Green Street. I think that's the only way you really slow that portion of it down. It's like start rerouting everybody from behind that street or something. But I don't think a lot of people wouldn't be too happy about that either, because then.
Well, they tried it one time and it don't work. They put them little poles up all the way down through there and ban left-hand turns, and it don't work.
If you don't have something blocking the road entrance, people are still going to turn left, even though it literally says no left turns.
Yeah, I mean,
you literally have to put like a barricade or something where they cannot turn left.
Yeah, like they did on Brown's Bridge up there, or in front of Popeyes and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, now
those cones aren't there anymore.
Yeah, now you got to go around your elbow to get to your rear end just to get anywhere on.
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah, that plane crash took out a lot of those little whatchamacallits where the Big Lots shopping center was.
Yeah.
You can't take a left into the shopping center. You got to go all the way around, then you got to go by Captain D's.
Yeah,
just to get into the whatchamacallit. And
it's cut up behind KFC and go Skelton Road and come back around. I mean, there's just not a good
either way. It's a stupid concept.
Yeah.
Stupid concept.
Yep. That's kind of like Limestone when they built that barrier in it. You can't get to the Hello Helo, or you can't get to any of the nursing homes up through there. I mean, you got to go up and U-turn.
Make a U-turn, and yeah.
You can't get in and out of anywhere.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll know tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock.
Keep me posted. Keep me posted how that goes.
9:30, and I'm going to try to keep everybody updated on the website and in the group in real time to what's going on, because it'll be nice to the judge just to prove to them that, hey, the citizens have got a little bit of power here.
Right.
You can't just run roughshod over. And this judge that we've got, his name is, I don't even know, you may know him. It's let's see, I don't know anything about him. His name is Randy Rich from Gwinnett County. They said he's done some cases in Gwinnett and must be a senior.
Well, this is from out of the county, so hopefully not part of any little boy cliques out here.
Because everybody had to recuse themselves in Hall County naturally, and so that's where we're at now. And now, next week, what do we got coming up with interviews that we talked about coming up with candidates?
Yeah, I think we got Tyler Crawford and Corey Anderson, and then I think potentially Susan too coming on. I don't know about next week, but maybe in the next couple of weeks, try to get these guys campaigns, and I think Stephen Gailey too.
Yeah, Steve Gailey's going to go on, and I know.
And we'll try to reach out to Shannon and Mark Turner and whoever else wants to come on and
kind
of talk about their campaign and what their vision is for Hall County and whatever seat that they're running for.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I talked to Susan and she said she'd like to come on in April. So after she gets her campaign really going.
Sure.
Because she didn't even have anybody running against her till Friday morning. And then the Swamp talked that had a CASA into running, Philip Wilhite and all them talked her into running for the school board at large. I guess they couldn't stand not having somebody they could had some influence over on the school board.
Sure.
So it was kind of a two people got in Friday morning and Susan thought she was going to be uncontested.
Man, I hate that the Ward 1 or 2 for city council went uncontested. That
yeah, Bob Norton.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have won, but at least it would have been not unopposed.
It would have been unopposed, and and that's the thing I got with the city. They're worse than the county. Is you will see their story up on Facebook, and they'll say, "Oh, reminder meeting's been moved from 5:30 to 10:30 a.m. today, the day of the meeting or the night before the meeting." I mean, they do that crap, and they didn't even advertise when qualifying was, except on their Facebook page.
Right.
I mean, how are you supposed to know to go to look at their Facebook page? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think they had an ad in the paper, and
right.
I didn't even keep it. Yeah, I didn't keep up with it or anything like that, and I'd been kind of putting off going by the what is it, city deputy, city clerk, or something like that. I'm not sure what her official title is, but they told me back in November that the special election, all the information and stuff would be posted in March and whatnot, and I was like, oh, okay, so we'll find out about the election that's going to happen potentially in November, in March, so that you can qualify. And no, you're supposed to go qualify in March. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's all right. Well, I guess, there's no.
Yeah, they moved the primaries up till freaking May now instead of having them in August and September like they used to.
Yeah. So, but I mean, maybe it's a bigger role coming up that I can run for later on.
Yeah,
maybe District 2 in Hall County might be opening up sometime soon. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be. And and one more thing, Corey, I think we're planning on doing him next Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll have that up on Tuesday, and then Tyler, we should get him in the next couple of weeks. I'll talk to Steve tomorrow. I got to talk to him about some other stuff, and we'll find out. And we've also, Billy Powell did show up at this week's meeting. I just want to make that a point. He hadn't been. Yeah. He's missed 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, I saw that on the agenda. He
didn't want to be on record voting against his buddies.
Yeah, I saw that on the minutes that he was there.
And then you got all these people in these other groups trying to claim he was in rehab with Sheriff Couch, just falsely making crap up.
Mm-hmm.
Is Billy Powell in rehab too? Blah, blah, blah. Look, stop it with the nonsense, man. Just.
Hey, in 2026, you don't know what.
Yeah.
Him and Gerald might have been popping off some Four Locos together. We don't even know about.
Yeah, you got that right. That's hilarious. But yeah, that'll be it. And we thank y'all for listening, and we will be back next Monday recording an episode with Corey Anderson right now. And he told me we're planning on it being an hour. He said, but if it takes what it takes to get his message out, for him to talk about what he thinks needs to be done in District 3, District 1. He's in District 1. I'm going crazy. So we will be back next week. We'll have an update on this court cases tomorrow. And then don't forget, Corey Anderson and Tyler Crawford have got a meet and greet, free putt-putt for everybody from 4 to 7 Friday night down at the Oaks putt course off of McEver Road. So that's free to everybody. Take your family out there, get free putt, get you something to eat, and just talk and chit chat with those guys. And because they had a meet and greet at Lula the other night and didn't have a great turnout. About 20 people showed up, but it was on a weekend. It was 75 degrees. You know, I mean,
It's the first real nice day of the year so far. I know a lot more people were out and about. So
yeah, I mean, I'm talking even the restaurants. We went to Cracker Barrel down in Flowery Branch because that's where my mom loves to eat sometimes. It's usually an hour wait on every weekend. Hell, we walked right in. I mean, so it was, everybody was out and about enjoying the weather.
yeah,
Supposed to be nice again this Friday. So take your families out and get some free putt. Make for you and Tyler pay for it. So, all right. Well, we appreciate it and we will see y'all next time.